What's going on, guys? You're watching Everyday Struggle on Complex News. I'm Nadeska here with Star and DJ Akademiks. Good morning.
Good to see you.
Did you guys have a good long weekend?
How are you, man?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good to see you.
Hey, good to see you too.
You
bro.
had a moment this weekend.
I always have.
You had but you had a real moment.
Tell us
Drake,
about
you-
it, Ak. Come on.
You spoke to Drake.
Yeah. Spoke to Drake.
Can we take our time with this before we get into the topic?
I mean, I think the conversation ties directly to a topic.
Okay.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
So you're speaking about the God's Plan video?
Yeah. Of course.
All right, we'll get
can
into
lead
it
into
first.
it.
All right, so look, this is obviously a hit song for Drake already. He dropped the video. It's doing really well. And he filmed it in Miami. He gave away almost $1 million in the video to families in need. Let's take a look.
I've been moving calm, don't start no trouble with me. Trying to keep it peaceful is a struggle for me. Don't pull up at 6 a.m. to cuddle with me. You know how I like it when you loving on me. I don't wanna die for them to miss me. Yes, I see the things that they wishing on me. Hope I got some brothers that outlive me. They gon' tell the story, shit was different with me. God's plan, God's plan. I hold back, sometimes I won't. Yeah. I feel good, sometimes I don't. Like, I finesse down Western Road. Like, yes.
All right, so mixed reactions here. Some people applauded him for his generosity. Other people thought it wasn't cool that he filmed these acts of charity. What do you think, Star?
I don't think there's any true form of altruism, but I applaud him for the efforts with regards to, showing, as you just said, charity. The reactions I saw were very, very strong. A lot of younger people were really appreciating the video, crying. I saw a lot of guys, just guys watching the video, and they were really moved. I liked the song. The video was cool. I don't think it was great, but again, I think the whole charity vibe gave it the extra oomph. And I'm just wondering why it took Drake to do this first, or if he didn't do it first, why he's the one that had to do something different as opposed to just, being in the strip club, throwing money, and to really just take hip hop, if we can say hip hop, into a different direction, or pop. What say you?
Well, first of all, Drake's last few videos, if we're considering some of them videos, because some of them seem like commercials.
Right.
He's been very different than the normal hip hop video. He's not the guy who makes a video just like throwing money in a strip club. I mean, he hasn't done that for a while, if he's ever done, period. But you could go back to Hotline Bling. Like, he's done stuff that resonates beyond just the video. This was just another example. I think him donating, super dope. I think it's the best video of the year.
Really?
Best video of the year.
Wow, big statement.
Yeah, and I think he saw a way how to give back, promote his project as well. You're right, it's not some altruistic fucking act. So he is, like, of course, gaining some additional promo from it. But, again, I always say don't look a gift horse in his mouth. And yeah, he's
Best
giving back.
video? Are you serious?
Best video of the year. What else dropped this
Just
year?
because he gave away the money, Kendrick's put out a lot of videos. Well,
This year?
not a lot, but even for Black Panther, he's rolled out some things.
This year?
What? Yeah, of course. He just put out songs from the soundtrack, the one with Future. They just dropped this recently.
Oh, that shit. But it's the best video.
Wait. The best video.
We
It's
are
only been- it's
only
2
in
months.
February. It's true. We are only in
So that's what I'm saying.
February.
Like, it's the best video in 2
But you're
months.
saying
so
the
relax.
best just because he gave away money in the video.
Yeah, I thought it was a different angle just to approach a music video that we just don't see other artists do. Like, I mean, Kendrick does that a lot.
Okay.
A lot, right? And I thought this time around, Drake was a little bit more selfless in him trying to create a moment, not for himself, but also the people he was trying to help. So he gave away $1 million. You gotta hats off and salute to that.
I have to ask you, how long was the phone conversation you had with him?
No, we had a back and forth text conversation.
Oh, so you didn't actually speak on the phone?
No.
Was this after your theory about him dissing X in the video?
Drake got to
What
him.
spawned the
He got to him.
conversation?
No.
Come on, give us some.
You would think that, but hey, here's the thing, right?
I do.
I love the effort that he did, but I think it was clear to certain people. And by the way, he was doing these things for weeks before. It all culminated into a video. People didn't know it was a video, right?
Right.
But I've spoken to X, and X was like, wait, he's in Miami doing certain things. If you don't know, XXXTentacion has a helping hand challenge where he's challenging his fans and his supporters. He says, hey, you guys should get out, go do something for someone else. Just hashtag it, helping hand challenge. And when it gets to a certain amount, I'll drop a song or I'll drop my album, right? Drake doing charity, it's not like, first of all, it's corny to say you're copying someone just doing charity, but he put up a caption when the video was released, and that's when people thought he was taking aim at X, right?
Did he get the idea from X though? Because as you just said, X was doing this, XXX Tentacion. He did something prior to Drake doing this.
No, yeah, of course. I think so. I still think so.
Okay.
You get me?
And you still say the best video, even though he
Yeah.
more than likely jacked XXX.
Yeah, I still say it's the best video.
Wow.
Now, the conversation me and him had was basically just acknowledging that it's a positive moment, where instead of start beefing or looking to see who deserves credit for it, let's just acknowledge the fact that $1 million has been given out by a entertainer and is helping and affecting families. So I think that's definitely worthy of applause, and that's the reason why I haven't even like looked too much into it. But in my opinion, he took X's idea, and marketed it better, like Drake does with most shit. You feel me?
I saw XXX respond, and he was in a better place mentally talking about Drake, because I think a couple of months back he was talking about Drake's mom and just really, really reckless.
Something he regrets. Yeah.
Right. So he's in a better place. Any chance that those two might do something together, or is Drake just ripping them off and keeping it pushing?
Yeah, but I'm not gonna call this a ripoff. It's charity, man. Like,
Is it because it happened in Miami? If it was anywhere else, would this even be an issue?
I mean, those are the subtle things. Again, we don't have the caption here. The caption, he said a couple of things that felt like he was sneak dissing X while doing it, right? He was basically saying, hey, you guys could just go out, help people. You don't have to do any hashtags or anything like that, or this is not no weird tactic to promote some stuff. Some people said about X's challenge that, yo, if you're holding it over your fans that you're gonna drop music and you're gonna do these like incentives, if they do whatever, you're probably just trying to promote your album, right? So when Drake mentions that, people kind of draws that correlation. Also, he starts off by saying, I don't like challenges because they're kind of corny. X named his shit a challenge, which was the Helping Hand Challenge. So again, those two things, people thought it was a little bit like slick shade there. And also, of course, the Miami thing. So again, I always say, don't look a gift horse in his mouth, yo. You know what I mean? Nigga just gave away $1 million. Like, we can't beef over who's giving out more shit.
Right.
That's a fact.
I like the video again. I think it resonates, especially at this point in time right now when we've got other things going on that are just more vile, vulgar, and violent. But I don't think it's the best video so far of 2018. I think that's a stretch, and I think he got to you.
Okay, what would you think is the best video? Or what other videos have you seen?
I don't really have an alternate, but I'm just, that one is just, it's a good video.
If you don't have an alternate, this is the only video you know this year.
No, it's not, but I'm not going to say by default that's the best one. I just think that's a
It's
stretch.
only 2 months in. I'm not saying it's gonna last the whole year. But you know what I mean? 2 months in, it's the only shit that we remember. It's the only video that's made any type of waves. I'm giving it the best for now. Kendrick might drop something next week with some fucking like Black Panther diving. It might change my mind too, but right now, best.
Okay.
All right, so YG's back. He has a new project coming this year called Stay Dangerous. The first single is called Swoop, and people think he might be addressing Tekashi 69 on this. Let's listen.
Nigga, fucking you don't wanna be a bitch, nigga. You a clown, you it, nigga. So whooping my songs. My enemies sing my songs. My soul whooping so strong. I can't do no wrong. My whooping can't be cloned. I'm serious, I'm bold. My bitch in the suit whoop roll. Take it off, she in the suit whoop down. I ain't with the pink hair blood shit. I ain't with the only at the club bloody. My niggas I be with, they known for busting. What, who, and where, and...
All right, so do you guys actually think YG's directing this to Tekashi 69?
I don't even think these are shots at Tekashi. That's the crazy.
Really?
No, I don't believe this is shots. First of all, I'm gonna speak to YG's character, how I've seen him move through music. He don't use his music to diss people for attention if he had a problem, especially, by the way, the song is called Swoop, right? Like, this is a song that's championing him being a blood. I don't think he's using that opportunity to make some rap WWE shot at another rapper.
So the pink-haired reference and all of that is just arbitrary?
Well, Tekashi has rainbow hair.
Oh, excuse me.
There's a lot of niggas
Pardon
with
me.
pink hair.
Pardon me.
Like truth be told, if we listen beyond that line, he was saying all this new way of repping blood, he's not into. So if you into like the colored hair, he ain't into that. Tekashi ain't the only person who fucking got colored hair who rep a gang. He also said, yo, he ain't into the fake club, whatever, gangbanging shit as well. So I'm not gonna take that as a diss to him just because I think if he had a problem with Tekashi, he would have dealt with that behind the scenes. Both of them supposedly a blood. I think he would have dealt with that behind the scenes. Wherever that would have ended up, it would have ended up. And I'm speaking to YG because YG's from the West Coast, heavy into gangbanging. I don't think he's getting on record to say, oh, I don't like that other guy. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Star, do you think he's taking shots or no?
I'm not sure, but I'm not going to try and read into this too much. You know, the gang culture in hip-hop/rap music can be costly. I've seen it firsthand. I was a writer at The Source magazine when Tupac and Biggie were killed. So I'm not going to try and read into whether he is or isn't talking about Tekashi, but I do want to recant my comments from last week, I think it was, with regards to Tekashi. I don't want to see his chain being taken, even though
You had a countdown, though.
I had a countdown, and I'm taking all that back. I had a reality check.
Tekashi DM'd you, didn't he?
No. I had a reality check this weekend. Just give me a minute here. And sadly, this was the biggest story over the weekend. Tekashi is in LA, yes? The biggest story.
The biggest hip-hop story.
And I saw an old guy, respectfully named OG Spanky, up in the Beverly Center Mall, out of breath, panting, supposedly looking for Tekashi. Then I saw another older guy by the name of Kid Frost. The hit or miss is nothing. I promoted Kid Frost back in 1990. He had a semi-hit called La Raza.
The 90s?
I was national director of Virgin Records in 1990. And I saw Kid Frost sitting there talking about Tekashi this weekend. I said, what the fuck are these old dusty niggas doing coming at this young guy? So I want to take my comments back. I don't want to see the chain get taken. I'm falling back. He's up on the gram taunting people. You saw this, yes? Of course you did.
Yeah.
You don't miss nothing either. He's talking about there's 18,000 people in this live right now. He's taunting people. He's taunting gang members in LA. So I don't know whether YG is really talking to him or not. I don't want to feed into that too much, as I said. The gang culture is real. Hip-hop, rap culture, it's flaky, it's sometimey, studio gangsters, the whole nine. But I'm falling back. I don't want to see any harm come to this young guy. Let me just say that right now on the record.
Yeah, I think what's the whole thing behind all this is that he made a statement saying he don't check in with nobody. And again, you don't really have to be too street to know that if you claiming you're on that thug shit and you a street nigga and you go certain places, you're gonna touch bases with the people who run those places. And I think that got a lot of people upset. I mean, he had issues in Minnesota. I do think his mouth is writing checks that, so far, he seems to be able to cash. But, I think that only lasts so long. So, again, with the LA thing, most of the people I saw going at him, they had incentives, just like you said. Most of them are rappers. Yeah, most of them are rappers.
Old dusty niggas.
Yeah, but most of them are rappers, and of course, they're looking at it as a moment for them. So they're like, okay, if the top guy wants to come out here and I could get my name in a headline, get featured on my page on World Star, whatever the case is, let's do it. I just hope he realizes that at some point your career gets bigger than that. Yeah. I'll give two examples, or one example. Look how Cardi B was moving. Cardi B had some issues as well. Like, Cardi B said some stuff. A lot of people didn't like it, some gang people, right? So certain rappers who were gang affiliated, they said, yo, when you come out here, you gonna see what's up. She was moving around very fine. She was not that vocal. She wasn't taunting.
Right.
And she picked up all her bags. You know what I mean? It's All-Star Weekend. That's the entertainers go out west to pick up bags. Tekashi, most of his shows got canceled just because of all the issues that was surrounding him. But he kind of went out there to prove a point. It just didn't do anything in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't help your career that much. Of course, you were the center of conversation. And you're basically taunting or getting at a bunch of local rappers who don't have a hit. Right? It just makes no sense.
We also see alleged gang members, what was it, San Antonio, banning him from coming into San Antonio. It's really intense, and I just think that it's just silliness to the upteenth degree. Do you think it's more so because he's taunting people, or because of his charges? He was convicted, actually. Do you think it's a combination of two?
It's a combination of both, but I think it really stems from the taunting, right? Like he seems like he's, first of all, when a nigga comes out and says, "I want y'all to all test my gangster,"
Yeah.
So he's on a test my gangster tour.
Yeah.
Right? So he went to Minnesota, everybody wants to test the gangster. So he goes to LA, everybody wants to test his So, and I told him this personally. I said, yeah, you were cool in LA, escaped out of Minnesota, but this is what you're doing. Are you just trying to gain online street cred or e-cred, or are you trying to get money?
E-cred.
Your shows are all getting canceled. Like, so you're not picking up the bags.
Yeah.
So you're going to these places, they're gonna shut your show down. Yeah, they didn't hurt you, but you're not getting to perform. You're an entertainer, and at some point, it's all about collecting the bag. It's not about showing and proving to a bunch of dudes in San Antonio that you could come to their city.
Right.
Maybe I shouldn't make the comparison to Tupac and Biggie and now, because now it's more so trolling. It's just, craziness on the internet. People just want to comment to say crazy shit. And I can't figure out whether he's serious or whether he's just trolling himself. But it just seems like at some point it could go left really fast. And then we're going to be sitting around saying, how did this get amped up? I'm looking at some major hip hop platforms. I'm not going to say which ones. Over the weekend, Crips in LA are storming the hotel looking for Tekashi 6ix9ine. It just seems like it's just going to hit a level at some point where it has to explode.
Right. So if he is trolling, like you say, he sometimes is, hopefully he knows where the line is before he gets out of control. Hopefully.
Tekashi's the biggest troll in the game. He's the biggest troll in the game.
He's laughing at people.
He's the biggest troll in the game. You know what? And I think, I keep telling people, I'm like, there's more Tekashis to come.
Yeah.
Like, with the internet now, just think about this, right? Of course, he got some hot songs. The songs are undeniable, they're on the charts. But he's literally trolling people, and the attention he's getting 20,000 people to watch him when he gets on Instagram Live. If we're saying that there's a lot of new kids who are coming out who are doing whatever, popping Xans and sipping lean just for attention, if they see that this is a way to gain attention, you don't think there's going to be a bunch more of Tekashi's coming? So
I don't do hypotheticals, but what happens if he gets smoked? Then what would hip hop's reaction be? Because again, everybody is focused on this kid right now. Hate him or love him, everybody's focused on him. This was bigger, if you ask me, than the goddamn All-Star game this weekend.
yeah.
So what happens if he gets smoked?
I think everybody in hip hop is watching to see if there's a train wreck or to see if there's a light at the end of the tunnel. Seriously. Like, it's I mean, again, I wasn't really, like, I was like barely a kid when Tupac was running the streets doing his thing, but I think it's the same thing when people are watching Pac. You know that the end is not like, all right, you just kind of just cool out and everything goes away. It's gonna go one way where either the cops all of a sudden storm in and lock everybody up because they've been seeing every sign being thrown up on social media, they got all the proof, or something violent happens and it comes to some type of end or something has to change.
Do you think it'll change the way we, the media, react and respond? Because you see, now we are the media. We can't blame other platforms, mainstream platforms. We are the media. We have the power to steer the narrative, the smaller vlogs and blogs. So what happens? Again, I don't do hypotheticals, but if he does get touched in a bad way, do we then take some type of deeper responsibility, or will shit just continue going the way it goes?
It's hip hop, man. Niggas be just feeding the thirst. Like, again,
There you go.
Just being honest, the amount of attention, whether good or bad, people wanted to track his whereabouts this weekend. Even if they're like, I hate this guy, but
I'm
where is
one
he
of them,
at?
sadly. I'm one
Right?
of them.
So again, this always exists in hip hop. I think this kid is probably pushing it to the extreme that it's almost mind blowing that nothing has happened yet. But there'll always be that particular person where we're watching to see what the fuck is gonna happen next.
All right, so Blac Chyna is dealing with some problems of her own. We know she has music coming this year, but a sex tape was recently leaked. It's her and her ex-boyfriend in it. He says this was filmed last summer, but he says he did not leak it. So Chyna's attorneys are saying this is a criminal matter for the police to investigate. One of her attorneys, Lisa Bloom, is calling it revenge porn. What do you guys think of the situation Chyna's finding herself in right now?
This tape is fucking trash. Listen, I ain't think we can get worse than her music, but this tape was trash. There's a couple of clips floating around. The one that she's giving fellatio was just goddamn disgraceful. I don't even want to get too graphic with it. Save your time. Do not even go looking for it. She clearly is against its release, as I could understand why, because her performance is trash. But I do think this is promo. Clearly, it's not meant to her ex-boyfriend, which, by the way, like, I couldn't even see the nigga in the video. Like, basically, the guy just jumped out the window to say, yeah, that's me and her in the video. Bro, we only see, like, your dick. You know what I mean? But anyway, he jumped out the window to say he's in the video with her. Neither of them are saying that they released it purposely. I think this is the best promo for her, because other than that Rob Kardashian shit, I haven't been paying attention to Blac Chyna. I mean, she put out some whack music, but other than that, I've been paying attention.
Do you think this will actually drive people to her music, though?
Something got him. I mean, did they say all attention is good attention?
I disagree. I think this is bad promo.
For Blac Chyna?
Hang on. She looks hideous. If we're talking about the video where she's wearing some socks and she's laying on top of this guy who looks like a burnt Slim Jim and he's got a crooked penis, is that what we're talking about?
I don't know if homie has a crooked penis.
Okay,
That might be a little.
I watched.
You guys
zoomed in too
debate
much
that
on
one
that.
yourselves.
I watched half of this video. This was worse than Mimi from Love and Hip Hop's video a couple of years ago.
Vivid turned this bullshit down, I could tell. Vivid
Exactly,
on no parts.
exactly.
Said release that shit on Twitter. man. Get the
This
fuck
is
outta
not
here.
good promo. This is embarrassing for her, if you ask me. All this bullshit about calling the cops, working with police, what are they going to do? Track him down? Is she going to sue him? He's probably got nothing. And what most people don't understand about, suing people, it's a whole process. You have to go through a discovery process where you exchange documents, where you try to prove where something came from, or you even have to produce, sometimes, phone records, text messages. Hang on. Then you have to go through a process by way of a deposition. Nobody's gonna sit in a fucking deposition and explain why you shot this video, what were the intentions. I don't like to use the word trash, but this was trash. This was total fucking trash. She
not
should be
suing him, though.
embarrassed.
From what I'm hearing from her lawyers, she's not trying to get at him.
She's not even at that point yet. She's
trying
supposedly
to get
calling
at-
police.
She's trying to get at anyone who spreads the video, so media outlets and people. By the way, Blac Chyna, she's all for this shit. Like when Rob Kardashian leaked her nudes, and she was like post or pre-surgery, and she looked like a fucking bag of sand, and everybody posted them. Shit, I got a letter from her legal people to say, yo, if you post this shit
Did
one
you?
more fucking time, yeah, cease and desist.
Okay.
So like. She's doing the regular, we don't want this shit out. If you keep it up, we'll probably press a lawsuit on you. But
I believe that
I don't think it's
revenge porn you can actually pursue in California. I don't know what the states would, the laws would be like in New York, for example, but I think she does have a case out there.
yo, listen, I'm just mad that her performance was that trash, man. Like I know her as a career thought, and listen, she was giving head like she was with Rob Kardashian, some stingy ass.
You watched the whole clip?
I did.
Really?
I was disappointed. I watched it 5 times to make
Oh.
sure. I had to watch it and speed it up. It was the driest head of all time, bro. It was like rug burn type of shit, man.
She's a hideous slob in my book, but I like her because she brought drama to the Kardashian family. But I couldn't watch the whole thing.
You know what the funny thing is? That's why I say it's not bad promo in my opinion. Like, I think that's her brand. Like, her brand is fucking people. No?
She's in the video with socks on, not even wearing high heels. It was total bullshit. I couldn't even finish watching it.
Who did a better performance, her or Kim Kardashian?
Kim Kardashian, clearly.
It's not
You're talking
fair.
about Kim
You're talking
Kardashian
about the
and
most
Ray J?
legendary
You're going way
sex
back?
tape of all time.
Yeah.
Damn, yo. That is one of my biggest fears, though. Like, some shit leak, and then you're not even putting no effort in. You're doing like that
Hold
lazy.
on. You have sex tapes?
Listen, man. I'm just
Are
talking
you
about the
usually
topic.
putting in very little effort? What's good?
What I'm saying is that, like, I do think that this is a bad video. I think Blac Chyna has got a lot of niggas in the game. I don't think she's giving that type of F-level effort for everybody who she's gotten with. I just think it's a bad clip. You get me? I think she's put in the fucking work. But not on that clip.
Please don't record any sex tapes. Please do yourself a favor. All right, look, at least we
They're
got.
on my iCloud. Y'all can try to get them. Don't do that. Nobody
Yeah.
wants to know that.
Finally, some good news for Meek Mill. He's heading back to court on April 16th. Now he has an opportunity to overturn his conviction. According to Philly.com, his lawyers are urging the judge to overturn the conviction based on contradictions between sworn testimony and the account of the arresting officer. Obviously, they are pursuing this. They're really trying to get him out. Do you think this might be a good break for him, Star?
There's one police officer who has submitted a sworn statement against another police officer with regards, I think you followed this more in detail, with regards to Meek Mill allegedly waving a gun at a police officer. Now, I don't know if he did indeed have a gun, but that's what the officer who submitted the sworn statement is saying, that Meek Mill didn't wave the gun, and that the police officer who did testify is lying. I don't know if he had a gun or not. Would you know?
This is a whole clusterfuck right here. So just to give a little bit of context,
Please.
right? So Meek really got convicted, right, by the testimony of this guy's name. Last name is Graham.
Right.
He's a cop. He says, yo, when we were apprehending Meek, Meek pointed a gun at us. Big offense. You can't point a gun at a cop, right? So of course that contributed to him like getting on probation.
There was
all
also
that.
a drug charge too.
Yes. But that gun and the point at the cops was like the biggest part of why he got convicted. Anyway, and this is why sometimes the headlines look way more attractive, like, because we're all celebrating, like, yes, Meek is getting an appeal, but then when you look further into it, it's two cops. The two cops who are saying, oh, the guy who said Meek did that was probably lying, they got kicked off the force. They were actually kicked off the force for robbing drug dealers. So their credibility is shot. You get me? So they're not in the force. They're probably just trying to throw salt and dirt at anybody they could. The only thing for that one cop that did testify against Meek, the DA came up with a list that was supposed to be secret of cops who lie on the stand, and that cop name is on it. So, I mean, it's a shot in the dark. Hopefully it works out for Meek Mill if he was like wrongfully convicted, and shit. I hope he sues the fuck out of Philadelphia and he could get some money, because 10 years of hell and a nigga might have lied on you. Nah, you got to get some money for that.
I think he's also facing the same judge. I don't know if there's going to be any bias there. I'm surprised she hasn't been removed from the case. She did threaten to sue him for defamation. So, I mean, people like Meek Mill, he's got a lot of support in Philly, and yes, we all want to see him, be successful with the appeal. But I'm shocked that the judge is still on this case.
Right.
I think now, which is so funny, because at certain points I said no, I don't think the judge is taking it personally, because the Philly.com, which is a news site for Philly, they did a whole thing to say, no, she sentenced Meek based on how she deals with most people on probation, but her reluctance to take herself off the case, like, if Meek is coming at you that hard that you have to get a lawyer, and your lawyer is now dissing Meek's camp saying, we're going to sue you. Yeah. Clearly, if you face the person who you feel is talking shit about you in the media, and you're going to decide their fate, you're not going to just be like, okay, I'm going to be a judge with no bias. So I do think she should recuse herself like most people do, but I think she's trying to prove a point. Like,
do you know what the investigation is? There's a federal investigation. They were looking into this. I've heard nothing about whether she's going to be pulled off or even reprimanded.
The federal investigation went nowhere because they asked Meek to wear the wire, and Meek said, fuck no.
Okay, so that's over with.
So the probe ended. The probe ended. So basically at this point, his lawyers just trying to figure out, shit, however way we could attack this to get him out of jail, we're going to do it. Yeah. I just think that judge being on the case, that judge has to hate Meek at this point. Because if I'm listening to the judge's attorney, Meek has contributed to trying to tear her career down, initiated people to threaten her life. And if I think that someone did that to me and I could decide their fate, you're fucked.
Yeah, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
And this charge goes back almost a decade?
Over a decade.
Over a decade.
11 years.
Yeah.
11 years.
Clearly there's some type of vendetta against him, in my opinion. But the appeal is up in April, I think? Or comes up in April?
Yeah, it's in
April
April. So a lot
19th.
could change in between now and then, There's a lot of time. see.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm excited for it, but I don't think it's going anywhere. Like, the guys who are on Meek's team, or the cops, they're fucking liars. You feel me? Like, they were selling to drug dealers. And
Outright.
Basically, if you know how cops and just the judicial system works, they protect their own. So if you're the one who's kicked out, and now you're throwing dirt at the whole establishment, they're gonna basically be in court holding them 2 middle fingers like, fuck you niggas. You get me? They ain't got no pension to worry about, so they're just like snitching on everybody. So
I guess we have to wait.
Wait and see what happens. All right, so next we got Hell Rel. So look, there's video footage of him having brunch with his family in New York, and someone runs up on him at the table. Let's take a look. Just so unfortunate that this had to happen with his mom sitting at the table. She shouldn't have to see that, but he did address it in another video. Let's take a look.
Look how comfortable a nigga is. I'm in Gucci slides, bro. You alright? I'm in Gucci slides, my nigga. You gotta be real comfortable in Gucci slides. Nigga run up, you get hit. Nigga play with me, so they can get hit. No more games. Gloves is off on these suck ass niggas, you alright? Look at me, man. Look at my handsome ass, man. Do I look like I'm playing with you niggas?
So he seems very unbothered in this video. I guess trying to show he has no scratches, no nothing.
Well, I spoke to a guy recently who doesn't mind me saying his name. He claims to have been at the actual scene where this took place. His name is
investigative reporter.
Contacted me. His name is Gucci MBF, and the guy who he claims swung off on Hell Rel is Javo Pirelli.
That might be snitching out.
Yeah, we're saying names now.
This is what he said to me. He said that it's some street shit, and what amplified this was, this is actually connected to the first clip a couple of months ago. Did you see Hell Rel, I guess, on the ground, trying to shake something off, and Hell Rel addressed that a couple of months ago. This guy, Gucci MBF, is claiming that this was some street shit. They were friends. I couldn't get to the bottom of whether it was over, money, females, or whatever. But he's saying that Javo is in jail right now, and Hell Rel actually ignited this by doing vlogs talking about the first altercation. So this is why they're coming at him. I don't know where it's going to go from here, but this is what I'm being told.
Man.
Are there no rules though?
Hey, I guess this is really on
in front
site.
of your family?
Yeah, he with his mom. Listen, I'm just mad that that they started on him so early. The waitress didn't even bring the cups of water to the table yet. Like, it's just crazy. My man didn't even get his appetizer fucking order yet. This is ridiculous. But with all, I did look into this. It seems like some street shit that was amplified and continued because of more shit talking on interviews and vlogs. But I wish the best for Hell Rel. I mean, I know he's not moving with Dipset. And that's how I look at the whole situation. I know he's not moving Dipset like he used to. So I hope as he continues his career, he moves accordingly. Because if MBF is just running down on you in fucking a Chinese restaurant, bro, I don't know, man. I think.
I asked this guy, I said, are you sure you want me to mention your name? I don't want to,
He's trying to get his clout.
I don't want to incriminate people. He said, go ahead. So that's who I spoke to, Gucci MBF. And Hell Rel's got some explaining to do.
Hey, Hell Rel, listen, I'm going to give you props for this video that you made afterwards, because there's no way to really explain it. He ain't even say, man.
He didn't say anything.
He said,
Gucci
man,
slides.
Just look at my fucking Gucci slides, man. Do I look bothered? Yeah, hey, it is what it is, man. Anybody could get caught lacking. And again, you just hope it's not when you're having Sunday brunch with your mom in a Chinese restaurant and the waitress ain't bring the water yet. You know what I mean? That's ridiculous.
I think the approach that Hell Rel is now taking is probably what they wanted the first go around, for him to just
little humbleness,
little humbleness, knock it off, don't be talking the gangster shit. I don't know Hell Rel, met him one time. I don't want to get into who's gangster, yada yada yada, but these guys seem to be about that business.
But what I will say also is that This clip was fine with him, but what the internet does is that you see them little comments going up and down?
Yeah.
Everybody's saying, fuck all your Gucci slides, nigga. You ain't do shit.
Yeah.
And they'll fuck with you till you want to do shit or you start talking shit back. Like, fuck them, man. They're like, listen, they need to run up again, and then they won't see it again, and then something else happens. The internet is a place where it just instigates shit. It doesn't tell you to chill. Niggas always want to see the train wreck, and that's why we were talking about certain things earlier.
Right.
Until we see the train wreck, we don't give a fuck about an explanation. Unfortunately, and very sadly.
Hopefully it doesn't go any further, but from what I've been told, they just want him to just knock it off.
Okay, no more vlogs. Stay off the internet. Okay. All right, I feel like we have no good news in today's show. So next is, we're going to talk about Fergie, who performed the national anthem at NBA All-Star Game. We know the Star Spangled Banner is difficult to perform. You know what I mean? People have butchered this before. Let's look at Fergie's rendition and talk about this.
And the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave through the night, that our flag was still there. Oh, say.
The
All right,
Raptors
so
is like-
the question here would be, was it really that bad? But the reactions really don't help her case. Look, she did address this afterwards. She said, I'm a risk taker artistically, but clearly this rendition didn't strike the intended tone.
Yeah.
I love this country and honestly tried my best. I feel bad for her, man.
Hey, I don't really keep up with Fergie music a lot. Is Fergie washed? Because that shit was trash. Listen, I really spent like 5 minutes debating with the homies who had a worse performance on the mic, her or Black China. Both were garbage, but this type of shit right here, off key, off beat, and you're a singer. At least Black China, she might be a professional doing that, but she's supposed to body this shit, or at least do a decent. Nothing spectacular. She's trying to explain it on some.
Trying to do something soulful and.
The fuck? She was off.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was
I can't even give her an A for effort. I think it was just, it was that bad. Mariah Carey took a shit on it too. Salute to Mariah Carey.
Is Fergie washed?
I don't follow the Black
Look, I
Eyed
feel like we have to
Peas.
separate people's careers from when they do the national anthem. That shit is notoriously difficult, right? No?
Yeah, but
I just like fuck out of here.
But there's a history of people that did try and do it differently that were successful. Marvin Gaye, Whitney Houston, and a host of others. This was really bad. There's no giving her props on this shit. You would have to be high. It was that bad.
Sorry, Fergie.
I think this compares with Roseanne Barr, who did the national anthem one time. I don't know if you saw that. That's going kind of far back, but.
Man, the only thing, even Rich Homie Quan doing that Biggie verse was better than this bullshit, man. This was garbage. Fergie, listen, I haven't listened to much of your music recently, but shit, if this is what you out here doing, hang it up, shorty. Now, I imagine a producer would probably, an engineer would probably fix this shit up. But this is why we got to separate the studio singers from live singers, man. You can't have everybody bullshitting. You know what I mean? If it was me, I would just tell them to add some autotune and I would get it right. I'll get it right.
Don't worry, Fergie. The internet will forget soon. You'll just end up on a couple lists. All right, let's get through some quick hits. We finally have some good news. So at All-Star this weekend, Kid Cudi showed up, Kanye showed up. Now, this is the first time we've seen Kanye since, I think he made an appearance at a Cudi concert back in November 2017. And before that, he hadn't performed in about a year since he went on that rant in Sacramento. Does this get you guys excited? Kanye on the way, about to make more appearances, put some music out.
I didn't watch this. I didn't see it. But again, I'm rooting for Kanye West. I think he's gearing up. He's going to come out strong in about a month or so.
A month?
Yeah.
You have some secret information, or?
No, I'm just saying he usually builds up. I think he's building up right now. But
I still got you on time, and he definitely didn't say "fuck you, Jay" on stage.
I think you're rushing it. I said 3 months. He's building up. He's going to get to it.
A week into that.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen.
All right.
What's your take on this, though?
I thought it was dope. Of course, him and Kid Cudi, anytime they link up on stage, I think that's a tremendous moment. I also do look at the timing for the St. Pablo tour. the whole like lawsuits flying around, all those things being settled because a lot of people were coming at his neck for canceling the shows off him like having some mental issues. But clearly the insurance company picked it up, covered all the tabs, and now Kanye back on stage, and I can't wait for the next rant. You know what I mean? So that's why you got insurance.
The ultimate rant is coming.
All right, so it's been rumored for a long time that Toni Braxton and Birdman were engaged. It seems that it is official in a new trailer for Braxton Family Values. She does show off her rock, but look, they might actually be married. Her sister did say that they might have eloped. So anyway, belated congrats to these two. What do you guys think? This is about to be a life change, a new chapter for Birdman?
I don't know.
Mr. and Mrs. Birdman, I rock with it, yo. Listen, it's black love. Two legends in the game. Listen, I thought he was with Keisha Cole at one point. I think.
Right.
I thought that was gonna work, but you know what I mean.
There was a lawsuit there somewhere, right?
Yeah. So, oh no, she broke some shit or something. Whatever. But anyway, I'm glad for them. Toni Braxton is a fucking just national treasure in my eyes. So I hope he doesn't. Wait, what's wrong with y'all?
Nothing.
She's
Continue.
a national treasure. She's a great musician, a legend.
I would agree with that. I would agree with that.
No one's disagreeing. You just surprise us every once in a while.
No,
I don't even know if you know
she's-
R&B, to be honest.
Do you know her
Right, she
catalog?
do.
Do you know her catalog?
I mean, enough to know she's a fucking legend.
He knows
Okay.
hits.
You get me? Yeah, of course the hits. Man, I don't know the album cuts. But anyway, I know she ain't no Whitney, but she's definitely up there. You feel me? But so I'm happy for them. I just wanted it to work out. But if I know Birdman, and this is just some ignorant shit, if I know Birdman like I think I know Birdman, she better watch her bank account, because when they start suing him, they're coming at her next. You
I
feel
think
me?
the two of them have the whole bankruptcy thing in common.
A word?
Yeah, she's gone through that, I think, 2 or 3 times. Yeah, she's had a lot of financial issues.
Wait, strategically? Because you know you can do strategic.
fake
It's legal now,
bankruptcy.
No,
right?
she filed, if I'm not mistaken, 2 times.
What chapter?
I think it may have been chapter 7 as opposed to 11 and 13. She was really going through some bad financial times, and Oprah Winfrey really dogged her out, and that's a real fucked up part of her bankruptcy memory, that Oprah Winfrey interview. And Birdman just lost the mansion, so they've got some things in common. I don't mean to clown them, but
One
you
of
know,
4 mansions. He
What's
got
that?
a lot more. You got
he lost
mansion on
one
every
of 4
coast.
mansions. But if they are married, you know, I guess salute to them. I can't say it makes a difference in my world or not, but
I would have loved to hear what Birdman said to her. Did he get on one knee? You know what I mean? Did he? I don't know how. I'm thinking how you would propose.
I think the two of them are seasoned. She's been around the block. He has as well. You know, sometimes you get to a point where you just want to be able to talk to somebody about things outside of the business.
But I'm saying that we've never seen Birdman in that
A romantic
softer,
situation.
He's older.
We wanted the wedding special like Gucci did, basically.
Hey, Birdman had an interview where he was talking about how he views women and how he prioritizes money at all stages over women.
How long ago was that? 5 years ago?
No, it was definitely like, I want to say 2 years ago. It was with Angie Martinez. And I listened to that and I was like, first of all, Birdman is about that paper. And number 2, Birdman will get any chick out to paint that fucks with that paper. So I'm glad that he seems to be.
He may be smitten. Well, clearly he is. She's an older chick, and I don't say that to dump on her, but you know, she's not a spring chicken. So clearly they have something in common. And, you know, I wish
It's some
them the
legendary
best.
shit, though. Legendary shit. I'm happy for that.
Congrats to them. All right, this last one, Ak, help us out here. So, Lil Pump arrested for shooting a gun at his own house, then later
Aha.
freed on house arrest. What?
Warner Brothers is glad they missed that bullet. Go ahead.
Yeah, Lil Pump was tweaking, man. Lil Pump was high as a fucking kite, playing with a gun. Shot went off inside the crib. Then the cops come. He comes up with the brilliant idea of telling the cops that 3 people were breaking in. Typical rapper shit. You feel me? Saying he was shooting at the ops, and they basically reviewed surveillance footage, and they probably said, "Nigga, ain't nobody was even Jimmy in the lock, man. Get the fuck out of here."
Is Bonk tied to this?
Boonk and him are signed to the same like social media agency.
Okay.
So his big come up was, I mean, Warner has been in the background. They really dumped the money in, but a social media agency called The Lights Global.
I thought I saw something with Bonk denouncing that he had anything to do with Lil Pump getting arrested.
No, well, he was denouncing that he snitched on Lil Pump.
That's what I was talking
You
about.
get me?
The hate or miss is nothing.
Because he was one of the first people to publicize the story of Lil Pump shooting at people trying to rob him.
Right.
And then, of course, we figured out that the cops just locked him up for just shooting a gun with no one there. So a lot of people said, boom, you snitched on your mans. And he was saying, I didn't snitch on him. I'm just telling you what happened. If anything, Lil Pump will enjoy being on house arrest because he's on house arrest. By the way, he got brought. This is how sometimes you got to realize that we're still talking about kids. He didn't get brought to jail. He got brought to juvie. You know what I mean? He got brought to juvie. His mom
He's still a
signed him
minor.
out. Yeah, he's still a minor until later this year.
Okay.
So he got a little ankle monitor, and in his world is the coolest thing possible. He's been showing it off at every single juncture he can. So I'm just hoping he realized that he got slowed down off the drugs because some of the charges that were levied against him are also going to be levied against his mom because you have your kid around, a loaded gun, bunch of drugs in the crib. You're not that good of a parent, at least in the eyes of the law.
State of Florida?
No, L.A.
Oh.
Yeah, everybody lives in L.A. Everybody lives in
Wow, that's a different story.
Yeah. Lil Pump be all right, though. He'll be all right.
Yeah,
and he's
no
on
one
house
seems
arrest, and I've
worried.
seen him all over the place in All-Star Weekend. I saw him at more places than Tekashi in All-Star Weekend. And he got ankle monitor. It's just crazy.
All right, they're very lenient, I guess. All right, that's our show today. That's all of our bad news. Seems like no one had a good weekend, really.
Bad news.
Black Panther. Ak and I haven't seen it yet. 'Cause
I did see it.
We're trash, but I'm gonna see it tomorrow, I think.
Man,
Talk
you
about it
gotta-
tomorrow?
Yeah, you gotta go to the theater and watch it, man. You download.
Hey, you snitching?
Man,
Holy
you're not getting
shit.
you're not getting the full experience, bro. Like you're downloading online. Now, I'm not against downloading movies online, but
Right.
Black Panther, man, come on, man, hold it down.
I'll get around to the theaters in the next 2 weeks, but I watched it online.
You liked it?
It was decent.
Decent.
It was decent, yeah.
Okay.
All right. We'll
I
talk
plan
about
on seeing it. I was trying to see it today, but from what I'm hearing, like you got to order tickets for like days in advance.
Now if you buy it now, you should get like a late night show or something like that.
Today?
Yeah.
You're gonna see it soon?
You got this. Yeah, I'm trying to.
Yeah.
It's I'm excited. The soundtrack's great. I've been listening to that for the
I
last
copped the
week over and
dashiki.
over.
I'm going up in there on full Coming to America.
All
type
right.
of
On that
wave.
note, guys, we will see you tomorrow on Everyday Struggle.
All my Nigerian friends.
What Nigerian friends?
I got hella Nigerian friends.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a dashiki for real?
Yeah, I'm going through.